Hey, what's up, guys? It's Bakes, and thank you for joining me for another one of my random horror reviews. In today's episode, we have a classic horror film, one that really doesn't need any introduction. It is a Universal monster movie from the year 1941. Today's movie is The Wolfman. As I said, if you're a horror fan, you'll be all over this movie. As any horror fan should, these Universal monster movies pretty much set the path of what we have to this day. This movie doesn't really need any introduction. I feel like in a way this will be a quicker review also because one, as I said, everyone should be familiar with this movie. I'm not trying to, shame anyone that isn't, but I just presume a lot of people are. And two, this is a very short movie if you guys are familiar with it. It's only 7 minutes over an hour, so it completely flies by. But before we get into my thoughts of this movie, we'll quickly go into the plot. I'll try and simplify it more than it already is. So in this one, we have our lead, Larry Talbot, played by Lon Chaney Jr., who returns home after the death of it's his brother, I think. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank, but I believe it's his brother. So he returns home to his father, some acquaintances that are familiar with his family. Once returning home, he starts to escort this lady around town by the name of Gwen. They go out one night, and Larry is attacked by a wolf. And that's the beginning of it all. He eventually turns into this Wolfman. It's a very tragic story, just like all the original Universal monster movies pretty much are. It's a very bleak story, very simple, but one that just stands the test of time. So let's get into my thoughts of 1941's The Wolfman. So as I've said so many times just through this intro, it's a very short film, a very simple movie. There really aren't too many things to go into great depths about it, but still you can talk all day about this movie if that makes any sense at all. Let's just start off with the performances. All the performances in here are great, but man, just got to take your hat off to Lon Chaney, who plays the Wolfman, and Larry Talbot. Just his character is so charming and likable, and even when he eventually does become the Wolfman, the way he moves, especially through the atmospheric fog and through that the woods and everything, it's just so great. He brings so much character to this monster that doesn't talk. It's great. Even though at the start of this movie he is kind of creepy, as I said, he starts to escort this lady by the name of Gwen around, and the way he comes across her is by looking through this telescope into her bedroom, and he's very upfront when he meets her that that's how it happened. And it is a bit creepy, but as I said, he's just genuinely likable and very charming. So all that aside, a very good character. One thing that it's almost a character in itself, and I sort of just brought it up a little bit before, is the atmosphere and the aesthetic in this one. It's just incredible. The fog is so thick you could cut it with a knife. This fog should be a character of its own and win an award because it is so fucking good. As I said, the woods just look great. The lighting, it's never too dark, but it's also, you can just feel how dark and cold it is through each and every scene that takes place in that woods. I just think the setting and the aesthetic and just everything to do with that is incredible. And again, the story, as I said, it's just so tragic and brutal, but it's very simple. And as I said, it's just a story that will stand the test of time. It obviously has. This movie is a classic. I really don't know what else to say. As I said, it's a very short film, so it's hard to go into too much detail without giving stuff away, even though I'm sure I could give a lot away with what happens in this story, because I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. Another notable name that's in this movie is Bela Lugosi, who is most famous probably for playing Dracula. He plays the gypsy at the start of this film. He's in this as well. Claude Rains. Everyone does a great performance. I'm just going to sort of leave it there. As I said, I knew that this was going to be a shorter review, but it's just such a famous and infamous film that, as I said, it really does deserve the praises that it gets because it is a great movie. I'm going to give The Wolfman from 1941 an 8 out of 10. Just very enjoyable, very simple, but such a great movie. So there we go, guys. I'm sorry for the people that do like my longer and in more depth reviews, but I'm hoping that everyone just understands, especially the people that have seen this movie. They just know how simple of a story it is, but how much it works wonders and how much it does work, emotionally and storytelling wise. It really is just a great movie. As I said, an 8 out of 10. And it stands the test of time so well. 1941, that is just so long ago, obviously. But still, the story and everything going on in this movie, it still holds up with a lot of the stories being told to this day. It just really is an enjoyable movie, and hopefully you guys, as I said, understand the shorter review today. But let me know your thoughts on The Wolfman in the comments below if you've seen it before. I'm not a big fan of the remake, but even if you've seen that, let me know your thoughts on that as well. But yeah, as I said, I had a lot of fun going back and checking out one of these Universal monster movies. I don't go back to old school movies that much. The furthest I go back to often is like the 70s. But going back to the 40s and 30s sometimes isn't really my thing. But I've always liked The Wolfman, and I enjoyed going back to revisit it this time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you for another one soon. Peace.